We'll start our rundown with Kentucky's constitutional amendments. Amendment 2 was one of the most closely watched races for Kentucky in this election, and the measure to add an amendment to the state constitution denying the right to abortion failed. You may remember that Kansas struck down a similar measure earlier this year. Amendment 1 also failed. That amendment would have given the state legislature the power to call itself into special sessions. Currently, only the governor has that power, and it looks like it will remain that way. Moving on to elected officials. In one of the first races called last night, Republican Senator Rand Paul won re-election over Charles Booker. This will be his third Senate term. In another race called quickly, incumbent Republican Representative Andy Barr won his seat back over Democrat Jeff Young. Barr has represented District 6 since 2013. Turning to local races, incumbent Lexington Mayor Linda Gorton has been re-elected over challenger David Kloiber. This will be Gorton's second term as mayor. In Fayette County, Democrat Don Blevins Jr. will retain his seat as a Fayette County clerk. In the Fayette County Sheriff's race, incumbent Democrat Kathy Witt has won her race over Republican Christopher Holliday. And finally, Democrat Gary Ginn retains his seat as Fayette County coroner over Republican challenger Larry Owens. While putting our stories together for this week's newscast, we wondered why coroner is an elected office. Wildcat News reporter Jackson Houston decided to find out.
Coroner. It's not a pleasant job, but someone has to do it. While a medical examiner performs autopsies, the coroner oversees it all and investigates deaths where a doctor is unable to determine the cause of death. The reason for the coroner's presence on the ballot actually has historical significance.
The office of the coroner was established around the year 1194 in medieval England. It was a way of taking the treasure and loot from the deceased and giving it to the crown. Now, the more modern take on a coroner came around 1830, also in England, during the cholera pandemic. During the cholera pandemic, they had so many deaths, they needed somebody who could accurately put this on all the death certificates and investigate deaths. This led to England creating multiple death registration acts and turned the coroner into a sort of federal agent. In a modern context, an elected coroner benefits the people because if the sheriff is found guilty of a crime, in most states, the coroner is tasked with arresting them.
Coroner. It's not a pleasant job.
We had a historic election winner here in Lexington. Genevieve Lund introduces us to Rebecca Blankenship.
Behind the rustling leaves at Phoenix Park in downtown Lexington is a happy Rebecca Blankenship. She and the Berea community made history at the polls yesterday. Rebecca Blankenship is the first openly transgender elected official in the state of Kentucky. She will take over the position of becoming a member of the Berea Community School Board.
I'm really excited for the LGBT kids for whom the future is now. When I was a kid, a trans person was not somebody that was regarded as serious. And to know now that children in Kentucky can say, in the state that is regarded in some ways as anti-LGBT, it's regarded in some ways as constricting in its possibilities, in my opinion, inaccurately. Those kids can now say, we have a brighter future.
Rebecca has 4 children currently enrolled in the Berea district. She hopes to focus on raising pay for teachers, increasing transparency, and expanding opportunities in vocational education.
You were ready. Yeah, that's amazing. It's awesome.
Reporting for Wildcat News is Genevieve Lund.
And that is your local election rundown. I'm Maggie Stinson. Back to Grayson Renardo for a look at the national races.